right. Are we activated? We're recording. 1, 2, 3. Let's jam. All right. So I've mentioned before I bum change. Why do I bum change? What's the reasoning behind it? It's not just like people will be like, you're lazy. No, when I choose to work, I work, anywhere from 50 to 70 hours a week. I make $45 to $50 an hour, not including all the other benefits. I'm kind of a paradox of a person. I've told people this in the past. Most people really get hung up on the right and wrong and all that nonsense, but I'm going to give you probably a lot of reason I am the way that I am. This is Freedom Phil, like and subscribe. Let's get into it. Always turn up the video speed. You should be watching this at least at 1.5 to 1.75. Why? Because you watch videos faster. And hey, I'm trying to build up the channel. I'm trying to get 1,000 viewers. Anything above that, right on, groovy, man. So, hey, like, subscribe. Let's get into this. It's like this. I'm a paradox. I either work way too much or I don't work at all. I'm a minimalist as well. So what would affect most of you, like unemployment, like I did that video recently, strategic unemployment. Like, when someone's seasonally unemployed, I've known people that do quite well doing that. And why? Because they keep their cost of living really low. They have everything paid off effectively. But at the same token, like with me, like this house is paid off and, the cost of living as a trucker or a van lifer, we're talking $200, maybe $200, $300 a month. I don't need much of anything. So that factors into part of it. There's also there's a certain excitement and thrill in it, and I'll come back to that. But one of the onerous things about dealing with society is the fact, and I say this semi-regularly, you think of yourself as a citizen of your country when really you're property of your country, your corporation country, corporate name, put insert country, and then you are in the ranch, put in state. And depending on what benefits you get for being in that state, you are effectively property of that state. I want to be I want to be as wild as I can for the most part, because I'm just random. I love my life, man. I love going out and enjoying life. Randomness, newness is a spice of life. And that's part of the reason when people say, are you good? Are you evil? No, I'm chaotic. Most people aren't good or evil. They're just whatever they're doing. They're just more structured and orderly. And the reason they're structurally and orderly, as I said in the previous video, was simply put, they have a huge amount of debt. When they're young, they're convinced to go out and buy a bunch of crap on credit. They're groomed to go to college, and then 30-year mortgage, cars, clothes, stuff. And that's your life. Most of it could be explained away, because I did moved garbage for a number of years. And most of it could be explained as you are summed up by either the stuff that goes into the dumpster or the car crusher and a handful of things your family actually wants to keep. That's most people's lives. I'm not interested in that. I'm more interested in living while I'm alive. And if there's an afterlife, cool. If there's not, I don't know. But for now, I know damn well what I want to do is enjoy as much of it as possible. Now, the less that I need, the less I have to go back to that system. And one of the problems I have with the system is like, okay, let's just say I work some small-time job, and then I got to get a W-2 from them. I got to have a box somewhere. I got to go back and go to the box, P.O. box or something. Oh, by the way, they don't make it easy to get P.O. boxes like they used to way back in the day. They make it a pain in the ass. Because they're like, well, we don't know if you don't have an address, you might be shipping drugs. It's not about that. It really isn't. It's about making sure that you're attached to something. You've got some money in the local area. Trying to get as much out of you as you can. It's like, look, I just want a box so I can receive my northern mail down here. I remember when I was in Mesquite, Nevada, and I tried getting the box, and they were like, it's like, okay, fuck it. I guess I'll come back to a giant pile of mail and a pissed off postmaster. And by the way, the reason there was so much mail is because you guys put all your junk mail that I get it. You're paid to put it in there. But you make it basically a pain in the ass for me to deal with being part of the system. Okay. And I could understand me being more part of the system if I was, needed all that money. But when you can live off like $200 to $300 a month, that changes the game. And like, well, how the hell can you live off that? I'll explain it, because I did another video ages ago. $30 a month for a cell phone with unlimited data, $15 a month for laundry. Let's see, $25 a month for auto insurance for my 88 Econoline. Maybe $10 to $20 a month for gas. Let's see, thrift store to get affordable clothing, food. Let's say $100. But to be realistic, if I'm traveling the country, I have no problem going to food banks. Like, but that's for the poor. You know what the poor get? Food banks plus a giant EBT card. In fact, if you ever look at what people get on EBT, you should feel insulted that the quote unquote poor, this is why the poor are as big as I am, if not bigger. I did a video on that. It was like a Chinese hell for a little Mazda. It's like, oh, that poor car. Literally, sigh of relief when those 2 Michelin people got out of it. The observations I've done on society, I'm like, wow, why are these people so, they're at a food bank? And that's why they get more than enough money. So don't feel bad about getting free food, especially when everybody else, all along the way, the farmer got a tax deduction, the trucker got a tax deduction, the DC, the producers, then everything along. And the last tax deduction is the restaurant or the store getting a huge tax deduction for giving away food versus putting it in the dumpster and getting a small tax deduction. That's your taxes. Don't feel bad about it. But when you realize you've got it pretty much around $100 to $200 a month and an extra 100 maybe for, another used Switch game. This is another reason I'd rather be able to get a box easier wherever I go. And then also maybe you pay for a mail service. So if they send something official, they can, you call them up and they tell you, oh, okay, this is what happens. Oh, okay, now I've got to go handle that. But they make it a pain in the ass to deal with jobs. You move to another state and they're like, well, you need to change your license over. You need to do this. You need to do that. Like, I might have worked that temporary job. Look, even though with trucking, I make God tier money considering the low investment and the no rent and no this. I mean, look, 80K to 100K per year. Like, I can easily at this point make 100K per year. And basically only 5K that, I'm living off a year. That's a lot of money to invest. But when I do that, that's basically all I do. And so there's certain freedoms and liberties that are taken away. And realistically, I'm one of those rare people that actually like that style of life. But when I go out and I'm living minimalistically, less than 5K per year, why should I go out and take a job that makes it onerous and a pain in the ass for me to deal with it? Then takes a large portion of my money for taxes for shit I don't believe in. As where I just hold a sign. People are like, but you're a parasite. No. Here's what I am. I am asking for a voluntary contribution. I'm not forcing anything out of your hand. That's the key thing. Most people vote to take your money out of your pocket. I just simply hold a sign and say, hey, do you want to give me some change? Or sometimes it's a 1 or a 20. I shake my ass a little and be like, yeah, Corgy's sitting right there next to me. And people say, well, your pride, you're this. Fuck all that bullshit. How much respect did you ever give me when I was just maintaining your society? When I was being used as a fucking human mana battery, slowly draining my existence. Did you think I came back to society after all that hard work? Was anybody thankful? No. So I'm supposed to basically being a good, hardworking, productive person doesn't get me any respect. Doesn't. So you can throw that out the window. All that pride shit is just them. You know what they're doing that for? When they pat you on the back, give you good words, you know why they do that? Because it's cheaper than paying you. Using pride and shame against you is a way to control you. If they truly cared, and valued what you do, they value it, don't get me wrong. They value it for its value, not for you. If they truly valued you, wouldn't they at least treat you better in society after working all those hours? And the answer is, they know they don't have to, so they don't fucking bother. So, if I'm actually happier as a drifter, whether it's trucking or in the case of me, living in a van, bumming change, if I'm actually happier and I only got to work, I can shake it for however many hours and, listen to a podcast or have some music playing and I make 100 on average, sometimes I make 2, $300 in an afternoon. I only need about $200 to $300 a month to get by as a van lifer. And I know, by the way, I do not represent the van life community. I represent me. Okay. Then what's the strong argument? But people say, hey, wait a minute. You said earlier about the excitement of it. I'm not good. I'm not evil. I'm kind of a chaotic person. I like new randomness. Hey, what's going on? Let's go have some fun, and let's see some new things. It's like fishing to some degree, in the sense that you might know there's fish in the fishing hole, but sometimes it's great. Sometimes it's little of nothing. Sometimes it's middle of the road. And that randomness keeps me interested. I don't go to a town and I don't stick around forever. I might work an area, kind of strategically plan it out. Okay, there's this food bank over here. This looks like it'll be good on that day. As far as the bumming action, I'll kind of look around. Like a hunter basically kind of plans it. And even when I'm shaking my big fat ass, here's the truth of it. There's been times I've got like 60 or 70 ones in 4 hours. And, fucking my ankles would be killing me the next day. But it's such a rush, man. It really is. And the fact that it's not about the work. The fact that I don't have to deal with, mailbox, the W-2, all the bullshit, the government that takes my money to pay for things I don't agree with. Meanwhile, simultaneously discriminating against me on a regular basis, like, oh, well, you're good. You're good if you're this person. You're bad if you're this person. The fuck would I want to contribute to your system for? And not to mention, it's kind of like random. And, I've actually at times, I remember when I tactically, strategically bummed, was it coming north 3 weeks or so? I think I made like $1,000 per week. Or more. And that's not including the gas and all the food that I got. I was living off all the food banks I hit up for months. By the way, if people say if I ever break rich, guess what group of people I'm giving away the dividends or whatever investments, set up a trust or something. If I ever break it stupidly rich, when I pass, I'm not giving it to some random people. I'm giving it to the fucking food banks. They fed me in life. They can feed off me after I'm dead, because, and by the way, that's another thing too. As far as things go, there's more to life than money. I mean, you can volunteer, you can pick up trash. You can just do something because it's the right thing. But like I've said, I know for some people to get too hung up on it's wrong. Is it wrong because you really believe it's wrong, or is it wrong because other people will punish you because you didn't do what they told you to do? Like if you leave your own local community, would you really believe a lot of that shit? And I've seen so many people, their values are based on whether they're accountable or not. And this whole idea of right and wrong. If what I'm doing is so wrong, well, then you shouldn't accept any sort of tax benefits like your public school systems, your child tax credits. You add up all the benefits you get. You're not paying taxes. Most of you will never pay taxes. Even Social Security, you'll outlive any sort of contribution you ever put in. And you'll all keep voting for it. You'll keep voting for, people that are going to send weapons to other countries. Please, let's keep the morals out of it. I'm just a drifter that either makes lots of money driving truck, or I'm perfectly happy bumming change as a van lifer. But if you would just make it easier, maybe just set up instead of the income taxes and all this, instead of making that, maybe have an American license plate, American license, make it easier for us to pay our bills, have to deal with the government, as far as I don't have to be any one place. If you want people like me to be contributing people, make it easier. Because I don't mind working temporary jobs, but I sure as hell don't want to deal with a bunch of onerous crap. Like I gotta find a place to live, I gotta do this, gotta do that. I'll just shake it for the money for 2 or 3 days. And that covers my entire month. Peace. Y'all have a good day. And like and subscribe.